What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with 11 weeks out physique update from Samson Dauda, hitting a most muscular shot after a chest workout. So according to Samson's own assessment, he is already ahead of the schedule based on those recent guest posings that he just did a couple of weeks back. Now as far as this upcoming Mr. Olympia is concerned, even Samson himself admitted that there is not a single guy who is head and shoulders above the rest. It's all about who shows up at 100% on the day of the show, who brings their A game. And we already know that Samson Dauda will solidify himself as a dominant champion if he's able to successfully defend the Olympia title, as he did not get the ideal results of the first show that he did after winning the Olympia, and that was this past Arnold, where he lost to Lunsford, and his reputation as an Olympia champion that kind of took a hit. But as Samson says, you cannot win them all, and the Olympia is the one that really matters. Now Samson wasn't that off for this past Arnold, Ohio, especially during the finals. But he did leave the door open for Derek during the prejudging, and also the fact that Derek showed up at his all-time best for this past Arnold, and he truly shocked the entire bodybuilding world. So the battle for this year's Olympia title, that will get real interesting if all the top 4 are at their 100%. And we are all just hoping for that. Now in that case, I think most of the fans, they have a mutual consensus that Samson Dauda is gonna come out victorious because of his size and his overall muscularity and the kind of aesthetics that he has. I mean, the guy is hitting vacuums over 320 pounds. That is totally new in the sport of bodybuilding, and we know his flow is gonna get better and better as he gets closer to being contest ready. So in that ideal case scenario for Samson Dauda, where he wins his second Sandow and he gets a huge paycheck, he is more than likely to skip the Arnold Ohio next year and just focus on doing one show. It's a very simple fact at this point. His body needs a break, as he has been one of those top Olympians who has been doing multiple shows every single year since 2022. Before you scroll or blink too hard, have you subscribed yet? Please don't make me bring out the emotional blackmail. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. It's free, it's painless, and that makes me look way cooler than I actually am. Next up, we have an update from Blessing Awodibu checking in with his trainer Chris Cormier. So I do think that Cormier is only helping him with training and posing, and Blessing is still working with Stefan as his coach. Now I truly wish that Blessing is able to bring up his quads, his lower half, because as far as that upper body goes, that right there is one hell of an upper back. A lot of thickness and density right there. And he does have a very extreme V-taper as well. Now Blessing here looks to be in the improvement season, but the man is staying somewhat close to the target. If he has to pick up the pace and let's say do a show somewhere between 6 to 8 weeks time, if he wants to have another go at this year's Olympia qualification. Now it was the biggest mistake to jump into this past Legion Sports, despite the fact that both him and his coach, Stefan, they kind of knew that he wasn't gonna be ready. I mean, he wasn't even close to being in a contest ready shape to place even top 3 at that show, let alone fight for the title. And the man literally got nothing out of that show. He wasn't stage ready, and the biggest factor is that he was unable to see that how much bigger his legs have gotten during this past very long off season. I mean, that was the whole idea of taking almost 2 years off and going up to 320 plus pounds. Now not a single person said that Blessing needs more mass in the upper body. Even his physique back in 2022 when he won the Indy Pro and the New York Pro, that was a very competitive physique, especially from the waist up. Now I don't think Blessing is gonna ever try to do a dirty bulk, because all that did was grow his obliques and blew out his waistline even more, and that compromised his overall symmetry and his aesthetics. So let's see how his overall physique looks like after this mini off season with a trainer like Chris Cormier in his corner whenever he decides to step on the stage next. Next up, we have an 11 weeks out physique update from the reigning Arnold Classic champion and the first ever Pittsburgh Pro champion, Lunsford. So not that it matters, but we never got to know how much Derek weighed at this past Arnold Ohio, and how much muscle did he put on from being a 212 Olympia champion to being one of the best in the men's open bodybuilding at the moment. So if we have to guess, it's gonna be somewhere in the high 230s. And the man has legit gotten way bigger, especially the arms, the chest and the shoulders. They have came up big time since his Olympia debut in the Men's Open, which was back in 2022. So those very freaky, thick and wide lats, they give him the most unique look whenever he steps on the stage in any kind of lineup. And he's able to make such a solid first impression on the judges. In his first pose, the front relaxed and the front double biceps. Now I have no idea why Derek is being considered the most vulnerable guy from the last year's Olympia top 3. I mean, he just beat the reigning Olympia champion. He also beat the best version of the mutant. And if you guys think about this, he has been the most successful bodybuilder of this entire year, who won 2 very big shows. And we know Nick Walker can say whatever he wanna say, and same goes for the fans too. It was the judges' call and their verdict to give Derek Lunsford the Pittsburgh Pro title against the mutant. And the fact is, that is all that matters. So the biggest concern when it comes to Derek is that whether he will be able to bring that same look that he brought at this past Arnold, Ohio. Because his look kind of degraded from the Arnold to the Pittsburgh Pro. And how many times have we heard that it is so difficult to peak for 3 different shows which are scheduled months apart, but in the same calendar year. Now as far as that 11 weeks out look is concerned, the man looks right on the money. So we are now looking at a new rivalry in Classic Physique division, US versus Brazil. And the irony is that it's not even the athletes who started all of this. So this goes back to the comments which were directed towards Logan Franklin, that he chose to skip Tampa Pro and Texas Pro because he was scared of Matheus Menegate, that guy who showed us some unbelievable potential at his Olympia debut last year. And not just that he cracked top 10 at his Olympia debut, but he was able to beat Logan Franklin too. And that was a massive accomplishment for just his Olympia debut. But as outspoken as Logan is, he had to respond eventually to all those comments. And he threw a challenge directly on Matheus to skip Tampa Pro and do Florida Pro instead. Now in my opinion, this wasn't a sane idea from Logan Franklin at all, since we're gonna have this battle at the Olympia stage anyway in October. So not the first time we're watching Logan beefing online with another competitor. Previously it was him and Fabian Sylvian, and that rivalry also was pretty intense as far as that online back and forth is concerned. Now here are some comparisons between Logan and Matheus from their last shows. So Matheus has such a big quad sweep, such an awesome frame, but for him, it's all gonna come down to how improved his chest looks compared to last year and how much thickness and density he has been able to pack on since the Olympia last year, because that was his biggest weakness and that impacts his first shot, the front double biceps a lot, and also the front lat spread. Now that being said, Matheus has his own strengths, like he has that amazing lats to waist ratio. He also has a better X frame, a better V taper than Logan. But then again, that chest becomes such a focal point in this front double comparison that Logan can actually take that shot. Not to mention Logan's conditioning, that is top notch. So I for one am very excited to see how Matheus looks at this upcoming Tampa Pro, which is happening this upcoming weekend. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.